This ESPN podcast is brought to you by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Visit geico.com.
Before we get started in today's show, I want to tell you about Stamps.com, longtime sponsor of the B.S. Report. It's quick, it's convenient. More importantly, it's really, really easy to use. You do not have to go to the post office anymore. You can just stay home. Make your own office, your personal post office. You can avoid lines. You can avoid just standing there as somebody mails some package, some 79-year-old lady. Who needs that? Make your own mailing and shipping from your house. Stamps.com. Put in the top right of the site, BS. You'll get a deal and a scale and a whole bunch of other things. It's a great product. You can buy and print official U.S. postage using your computer and printer. Stamps.com will give you a digital scale. It will automatically calculate the exact postage for any letter, any package. They'll even help you choose the best class of mail. Wow. Why go to the post office? Just give it to the postman. Stamps.com. Check it out.
The B.S. Report is a free-flowing conversation that occasionally touches on mature subjects. The B.S. Report. The B.S. Report with Bill Simmons.
Welcome to Bill and Sal's 2014 NFL Degenerate Gamblers preview presented by Porch Pies. Boy, that was tough to say.
Yeah, come here, buddy. We did it.
Yeah, we did it.
I know this screws up all the camera shots, but we did it.
We did it. We're doing
Basketball is over.
Yeah.
No more 8,500 word columns about Kevin Love's scheduled bowel movements.
Right.
There's only one James to talk about, and that's Edgerrin James. I bet you didn't even know he's a starting
still in the
fullback.
league?
Yes, he's on the Patriots, for crying out loud.
No, he's not.
You did not do your homework.
He's not.
We're back.
We went to the collectors convention, which you can read about on greatland.com. We got these WWE mugs. You got that's a really nice one. Andre,
tremendous.
Junkyard Dog, and Hulk Hogan.
Oh, you got Rowdy Roddy and the Iron Sheik.
I just have Andre.
Volkov.
I have Andre in honor of Andrew Luck.
Classic, right?
Andrew Luck wanted me to have that mug.
Andrew the Giant Luck.
Yeah. We're going to go through each division.
Let's do it.
And we're going to start with the AFC. And what this is we're just going to talk about the league from a gambling aspect because that's all we care about.
Why not? Yeah.
We don't care about the actual games.
No.
We just care about the spreads. The AFC East, plus 500 that the AFC East team wins the Super Bowl, plus 500. Interesting.
I don't like it too much.
I don't like it either because the Pats are 8-1, and who else is winning that division?
Right, well, I'll tell you who's winning that division. The Miami Dolphins.
What?
I like them. I love what they did with their offensive line. They have Juwan James from Tennessee.
Juwan James.
Brandon Albert's probably the best free agent pick, and no one's talking about it. They signed him for like 5 years, $46 million, I think.
I did like that one.
That was the thing. Tannehill was sacked, 58 times? They have to keep him upright, and they have big playmakers. I think that's the team. I think they win 11 games, and they win the AFC East.
So they are plus 750 to win the division.
Plus 750 to win the division.
I just obviously disagree with you.
Right.
The Pats schedule broke really nicely. We talked about this when we did our over-unders thing.
Yeah.
But hold on, I'm going to look at the Pats schedule as we're talking here.
Well, I'll tell you about it. Here are their road games. Now, they have the first place schedule, so their extra two games are Cincinnati and at Indy.
Right.
They're on the road against KC, Green Bay, Indy, and San Diego.
But San Diego's in December,
right,
which is normally a cold weather game. So now December becomes a warm weather road game, which is nice.
Mm-hmm.
2 domes. Brady owns the domes. And then also we played Denver. It's the third straight home game in that stretch.
And that's a
payback
game for them.
If Miami's not good, that's 6 easy games in the AFC East.
No, and you have what could be the best secondary you've had in many years. Like, gone are the days where you have a wide receiver roaming around a free safety. Like, you really have it right now.
Saying we have the best secondary in a few years is like saying it's ABC's best primetime lineup in a few years.
Ouch.
Well, you're in the late lane.
Oh, that's true. I don't have to worry about this.
Yeah, I mean, we actually have a good secondary. We're no Brandon Browner for the first 4 games.
4 weeks, right?
But there's some undrafted free agent named Butler.
Yeah.
Who was like this ball hawk who caused 2 fumbles in the preseason game against the Eagles and just looked like he was doing
a lot of
stuff.
guys trying out there.
I like the secondary, finally.
You lost the best playoff running back at all time, LeGarrette Blount. But he wasn't there in the Denver game. Right.
The thing with the Pats, because another year with Tompkins, which helps.
Mm-hmm.
Dobson, who knows? He's had one of those. Is he going to be healthy? Like, whatever. Right. Brandon LaFell looks okay, but Gronk that's the difference.
Sure.
Gronk is like, when he's in the lineup, it's a different offense. And when he's not in the lineup, it just, Wait, when I had did the Seth Meyers podcast, which I don't think has gone up yet, but we were talking about his
Well, you're killing ABC.
I know.
Crapping in a prime time.
I know. Now I'm bringing up Seth Meyers.
Night guys.
Well, I was talking about he has Fred Armisen as his band leader, but he's not. He's on 60% of the shows.
Right. I see.
That's like his Gronk. When Armisen's on there, it's this bigger show, but then when he's not, it's like, where's that? And that's without Gronk, he's like the only playmaker on the Pats.
Yeah, you need those. Wilfer, you need them all to stay healthy. Right? Gronk, Vereen, Amendola. Like they don't even mention Amendola anymore, but that's a lot of targets.
The Pats had really bad luck last year for a team that made the AFC Championship game.
Yeah,
lost Will Fork early, heart and soul of the defense. Amendola couldn't stay on the field, although maybe he can never stay on the field. On down the line, like Talib gets hurt in the title game. The thing I really like reading all the stories, watching all this stuff, is just Revis just looks like he's motivated.
Yeah, finally, right?
Healthy, just ready to annihilate people.
That'll be nice. When you're going against Geno Smith, E.J. Manuel, and Tannehill, who can't stay upright, except hopefully this year, you need the secondary to shore things up.
Right. So Miami, I mean, they definitely fit some of what we're talking about here, just because last year was such a messed up year.
Yeah.
They had the incognito thing. That screwed up not only their offensive line, but their locker room.
No chemistry.
And they had national media just infiltrating them for 4 weeks, which is never good. So you could look at that and say, all right, that's great. I thought it was interesting, though. You look at what they did with the salary cap, and I think they spent almost $30 million on wide receivers.
They did spend a lot, right?
And the next team was like 21 or something. It was like they're way out of whack compared because the Mike Wallace contract, some of the other things they did. But then you look at the Tannehill deep stats, and a lot of people have mentioned this.
Yeah.
That he sucks throwing the deep ball, or he did last year.
Right.
So you have all these weapons, all these deep threats, and then he can't get them the ball.
Yeah.
That's frustrating.
I think he went to management and said, look, I have the hottest wife on the planet. Forget about the NFL. And she is going to leave me. Help me out here. I got to do whatever I can.
I read Mike Sando, who I really like on ESPN.com. He had like his top 50 breakout player picks.
Right.
And Tannehill was like second.
Was he?
Yeah. A lot of people like him.
Yeah. Out of that crop, I think he was one of the better ones. I'm going to say any luck, but he was one of the better ones. And I think this is a make or break year for him and Joe Philbin. And I think they compete. I think they win. What did I say?
Joe Philbin,
11.
He had the third best odds on Sportsbook yesterday.
He did, right?
Plus 750.
Not a bad hedge for my 11 win prediction for the Dolphins.
You have Miami either in the playoffs and or winning the division.
I have them winning the division. In fact, I have the Patriots and Broncos as wild card teams this year. You're going to call me nuts.
Interesting.
But
I like it.
Back to the AFC East, I think that Doug Marrone and the Bills, I think they're fried. And you talk about an over-under. Yeah. That's my best over-under for the year. Under 6.5 is plus 135 for the Bills. They're just garbage. They're switching to a 4-3. They have Jim Schwartz now there. It's a mess. They lost Jarius Byrd. I don't like that team at all. E.J. Manuel was a stretch last year. And what are they doing? They lost Stevie Johnson. Sammy Watkins was a stretch in the draft.
I didn't understand the Stevie Johnson thing at all. Maybe he's
too much trouble,
weird locker room guy or something, but they just basically gave him away.
Right.
He was somebody that always scared me.
Yeah.
And then the Sammy Watkins thing.
It's fine.
Did you like what the Falcons did with Julio Jones that time? They gave up 6 and 27 in future one. Like, if he's Julio Jones,
right?
I like it, but for a cold weather team to go all in on a receiver like that makes me nervous.
It's not the way to. You don't know which CJ Spiller is going to show up or any of these guys. And
he's a trade guy apparently.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
There's been a little trade buzz, but guys never get traded during the season.
Right.
The Bills are 90-1 to win the Super Bowl, which seems about right.
What a waste! What a waste!
They're living on a prayer, Sal.
ACL. Yeah. They are. What do you think? That would be the best thing that happens.
All bad puns today are sponsored by Porch Pies.
Porch Pie Puns?
Porch Pie Puns. The Jets are 85-1 to win the Super Bowl, and the Dolphins are 75-1. So Vegas is basically saying we're out on all of these teams. But you know what's weird about the Jets, though? Their run defense was great last year.
And the same with the Bills.
They're second in the whole league in DVOA.
They stay in games because of these defense.
Right. And their quarterback situation. Have we ever seen a team that had less people start in a fantasy week than the 2013 Jets?
No.
Did one guy start? Did Curley start in our league?
No, I don't think so. No. No way.
The quarterback never started. I don't even remember who their running backs were.
What do you put over under for Vic games starting?
My thing with Vic is you play him if he's healthy. Mm-hmm. Right? Yeah. The problem with him is he can't stay on the field. But if he's healthy and he's 100%, he's better than Geno Smith.
Yeah.
Just wait till he gets hurt.
Right. And
why would you want him as your backup?
Much better leader anyway. Let Geno Smith develop on the bench if that's how it's going to be. But
I feel like they were dogging him a little bit.
Oh, wow.
What?
My pun.
Another one.
My pun number 2.
Yeah, we're trying to work it in. It's our new sponsor.
Jets I had is 5 wins. I think I had Bills at 4 wins.
4 wins?
A mess. Yeah, that's way under. I think they're the worst, and there's the odds for that, too. Who's going to finish worst in the league?
The only other thing I would say here, Pats 10.5 wins. Over is minus 210, which means there's been a lot of action, and they don't want to move it to 11. I don't understand how they don't win 11 games.
Really? Well, they have the toughest.
They're not going to go 11 and 5.
All right, here
They're
are
going to go 10 and 6.
At KC, at Green Bay, at Indy.
KC's going to suck.
I know. I don't like them much either, but those are the out of conference, out of division.
San Diego's
road
tough
games. Yeah,
we'll split San Diego and Denver. We'll go 1-1 in those.
Home against Cincy, you could lose that. Right?
I'm going to be afraid of Andy Dalton in New England.
They never go 6-0 in division, as good as they are.
They're going to go 11 and 5 or 12 and 4. They do every year. They're the Spurs.
Their last 3 games are Miami, at the Jets, and Buffalo.
It's great.
That's pretty good for them.
So let's say
they're 9 and
even if we're
going into
8 and 5 going into those,
I think they sweep.
But we'll be 8 and 5, 9 and 4.
Yeah.
I feel confident.
Miami, at Minnesota, and Oakland is at least 2 and 1.
We haven't talked about the apple of my August.
I think it's your porch apple pie.
It's my porch pie apple pie in August. Jimmy Garoppolo.
Oh, you like him, huh?
I do.
How many games
really
did he start? Over, under, half.
How dare you?
Over.
I think he starts week 17.
Oh, really? You need that game.
I like the way, you know me, I feel like QB is 75% charisma and how you do a play fake and all stuff that has nothing to do with actually throwing the ball.
Yeah.
Just has something. There's something about him.
Mm-hmm.
And my wife was walking by the TV and saw him and did the, who is that?
Really?
Yeah, big fan.
Oh, wow.
I like having a handsome quarterback. I think that's part of it.
Wow.
You want your quarterback to just be like the offensive lineman and be like, oh, who's Jimmy dating this week?
Yeah, right.
That's part of it.
Right.
It was a big part of Brady's success. Big, tall, handsome guy.
Yeah.
Dropped to the 6th round. He was too handsome. Handsome guys shouldn't drop to the 6th round.
That's true. You think that's why they draft him? That picks up his stock?
The combine, they should just have 4 girls just weighing in on how hot a guy is. And be like, no, he's not hot enough. Andy Dalton, no, down. 4 out of 10.
To the Bachelor every week.
Yeah. So you think New England?
I like the Dolphins and I like the Bills. Obviously, to not make the playoffs is minus 450. That's if you could parlay
all right, so
that
we differ. I just want to say we get in a lot of trouble every year with those parlay.
We do? People get mad that you can't?
Yeah, we do those, and then in like December, you're like, "Hey, just so you know, we're losing 8 of 9 of our division, whatever playoff part." So I'm not
Bills
doing
are not
this
winning.
So we disagree. We think I think New England wins the division. They're the only playoff team.
Right.
You think New England and Miami are playoff teams, and Miami wins the division.
New England's the 5
controversial pick.
Miami wins.
Are you making that your porch pie in the sky pick or no?
No, I have another one coming.
Okay, we're gonna save yours, and I'm gonna save mine as well. That's it for the AFC East. This is the AFC North, which Vegas tells us is the least likely division to win the Super Bowl. It is plus 850.
Well,
AFC North wins the Super Bowl.
Well, maybe that's why I'm having the most trouble figuring out who's going to win this division.
Well, let's talk about this because this is the only division we had the division odds who's going to win. Cincy's plus 190, Pittsburgh's plus 210, Baltimore's plus 280. This is the only division that has 3 under 3 to 1.
3 to 1.
And then Cleveland's plus 750. Then for all those teams, Bengals 37-1, Steelers 26-1, Ravens 38-1, Browns 80-1 to win the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Vegas is confused by this division. I think there's a lot of signs pointing to a Bengals regression season. People have written about this. What do you think?
I was looking for another team to win this division, but it's still pointing to the Bengals. And I think people like to hate Andy Dalton. As a Romo apologist, I could see the correlation here. But guy won 9 games, 10 games, and 11 games in his first 3 years.
Yeah.
It's only favored to win that last playoff game. So now everyone's all over him, and he signs a big contract. They had 10 guys out on IR, 8 of them starters last year. They have Geno Atkins, who's the best D lineman of our generation.
He was hurt last year.
They did great in the draft. I think this is the team. They lose Michael Johnson. He's a good pass rusher. But if I'm going to pick one team to have 10 wins, it's the Cincinnati Bengals.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
And they it looks like they hit the jackpot with their first-round cornerback. Denard,
yeah.
Yeah.
State, yeah.
Marvin Lewis said he was the best rookie cornerback he's ever seen.
Really?
Now, Marvin Lewis has been coaching for a while.
Sure.
Coached some great Ravens teams, been on the Bengals for 12 years.
Yeah. Somehow, 12 years.
Mildly strong praise. I also love Bernard. Yeah. And watching them last year, it never made sense to me why they didn't use him more.
Right.
And I think anybody who had him on a fantasy team was like, what the hell?
And they got Jeremy Hill from LSU now. It's going to be a perfect compliment. They say, there's a lot to love about them offensively.
Yeah, I think the reason that they're a little undervalued is, frankly, the Dalton stuff. I think people feel like there's just too much baggage with that guy now. But they took care of him. As you said, he's been in double figures every year with the wins. They have great weapons around him. They have good defense. They got playmakers. I think they know who they are. Right. I couldn't see them going less than 10-6.
I don't either. The only thing I'll say is their first 6 are at Baltimore, Atlanta, at New England, at Indy, and Carolina. I think that evens out eventually. But I just, if you look at the other teams, I don't think any of them got a whole lot better. And the Browns would have had to have gotten a whole lot better to win 9-10 games. So
I think it's so hard when, the Browns change coaches for the third time in 3 years.
Yeah.
You have all these dudes learning an entirely new system. They gutted the front office again for the second time in 3 years. They have this crazy Josh Gordon thing hanging over their heads where he's playing in the preseason but probably won't end up playing. He's going to get suspended for the year.
Right.
And then they do the Watkins trade where they basically move backwards to pick up a first round. It feels like they're built for the next season, not this one.
Next season. There's a couple of teams like that, and they're one of them. And I think, like you said, Josh Gordon in there is a different story. But when you have Burleson and Miles Austin as your receivers, and, now Hoyer is announced as a starter, and you're running back, not big playmakers. You got Tate as the running back. They like this guy West from Towson. But,
the rookie.
A lot has to go right there.
Yeah, I don't see it.
Yeah.
I don't think they have enough guns yet. I think they could have used that last draft to make a run this year. This 2014 draft. They had kind of, let's say they take Watkins. Let's just say they take him. And then instead of doing all the Manziel stuff,
but they didn't know Gordon was going to be suspended. Oh, wait.
They knew 3 weeks before.
Yeah, they did. I'm sorry. Okay. Could have taken Watkins.
The Ravens are getting a lot of buzz for a Flacco resurgence here, which makes sense because last year they win the Super Bowl.
Right.
Signs a huge contract, does commercials, gets smoke blown up his ass for 9 months. And then they had the year from hell. Guys get hurt. They lost some dumb games.
Yeah.
All of it made sense. Do you believe in the Joe Flacco resurgence?
Gary Kubiak, offensive coordinator now, had the worst running game in the league last year, I believe. I don't think it gets a whole lot better. I really don't. Bringing in Steve Smith is nice. You got a little,
I do like the Steve Smith.
Yeah.
He feels like a Raven. I like it.
And it's Pierce and Ray Rice.
Their running game was the worst in the league last year.
Yeah.
By DVOA, they were 32nd.
Yeah.
There's only 32 teams, Sal.
I know. There's not a lot more. They keep talking about expanding, but there's only 32 so far.
Right. And I thought Ray Rice looked terrible last year. I was amazed they didn't cut him.
Yeah.
Without getting into the whole domestic violence minefield.
No, nobody gets in trouble for saying anything about that. We could talk about it. Let's go crazy.
Oh, I just got suspended. I didn't say anything yet. What happened?
Porch pie to the face.
I didn't say one thing. This ESPN suspension is brought to you by Porch Pies. You can check out porchpies.com. They're delicious.
Be working behind the counter next
Get the suspension apple pie. It's delicious.
4 games they lost by 3
But why not just cut Ray Rice? Why even let that hang over the team? He was kind of past his prime anyway.
I don't know what the salary implications
Take him out.
But
I would take him out.
First 3 against Cincy, Pitt, and at Cleveland. So they played the entire division in the first 3 weeks.
I'm crossing off the Ravens, and I think the Steelers are the wild card team to me. Not an NFL wild card, but just like
porch pie in the sky.
They kind of linger. They're always kind of around and in the mix. Roethlisberger contract year.
Yeah.
DeCastro, the guard, is back, and their offensive line. Pouncey got hurt. Then last year was just a catastrophe.
Yeah.
All those guys are back. They had a good draft.
They lost a lot of big names. They lost Emmanuel Sanders, which might be why Antonio Brown was so good.
Do you think we all like Emmanuel Sanders just because he was that guy that everybody was kind of eyeing in fantasy, that he was going to make the leap? But he never really made the leap.
No, he didn't.
He was never that good.
No, you'll see. I think
Antonio Brown's one of the top 6-7 receivers in the league.
But you wonder, he was second in the league behind only Josh Gordon in yards. And I think, but you wonder if that's going to change now that Sanders doesn't compliment them. But they lost a lot. They lost a lot of, I don't know if this makes them worse, but Dwyer, the running back, Sanders, Cotchery, Ziggy Hood, Woodley, Foote, all these guys, Ryan Clark, all mainstays for years.
Yeah, but maybe that's good.
It could be better. Ryan Shazier is going to be a solid pick.
It reminds me a little of the case for San Diego last year. Like, I mean, we didn't know Rivers was going to come back, but you just look at Pittsburgh, like Roethlisberger contract year, he'll be motivated. Mm-hmm. Plus, Sanders doing that whole weird Peyton Manning leadership thing, I thought was interesting.
Yeah,
a little slap in the face.
Definitely.
If somebody left Grantland and said that about me, I'd be upset.
Oh, you haven't heard? Oh, you just don't find out about it. Yeah.
Oh, I don't find. Maybe it's under the radar. They say it. Yeah. Le'Veon Bell, I thought, was really good last year.
Sure.
And I had him on fantasy, and I really felt like down the stretch he was becoming a force. Yeah. And then Browns they got 3 big pieces.
Mm-hmm. Secondary's weak, little old and weak, like Palomalu and Ike Taylor. It's not aging secondary.
It's never good to have a bad offensive line and a bad secondary, which is what sunk them last year.
No depth at defensive line, but I still have them with 8 wins.
Let's say they suck again. Let's say they go, or they didn't suck last year, but let's say they go 7-9, 8-8.
Right.
At that point, do you reevaluate the Tom and Belichick? The Mike Lombardi theory that you're only as good as your coach and your quarterback.
Yeah.
Do you reevaluate that? Because now it would have been like 4 straight years where those guys didn't come through.
Yeah, maybe. I think Todd Haley would get the axe first, I think. But
yeah, you're probably right.
Could be a package deal there.
So it sounds like we're aligned. I actually think Cincinnati's undervalued at plus 190 to win the division. I think they should be favorites like minus 150, something like that.
Team improved or is about the same, and you're still getting almost 2-1 odds for the division. I think that's the way to go. And the playoffs plus 120. Don't you think they'll at least win?
Right.
10 or if something weird happens.
We know Atkins is going to make them better.
Yeah.
Bernard's second year should have a leap.
Right.
And then if this cornerback is as good as Lewis is saying, then you're adding 3 blue chippers to last year's team that really fell apart in that same. I mean, I picked San Diego in that game. I thought San Diego deserved to win, but you forget, like, the Bengals were driving for a touchdown. I think they would have been up 10.
Yeah.
Remember in the second quarter, and they had that fumble, and then the momentum changed.
That was a messed up game.
That was a messed up game.
Wasn't that the game where
Cincinnati could have won that game?
All the favorites had won that weekend.
Yeah, we knew. We were texting each other like, uh-oh.
I think they said we have to lose. Vegas stands to lose too much money here.
Here's the one thing that scares me a little bit about Cincy.
Yeah.
Last year, they were 11-5 last year. Their schedule, the DVOA of the offenses they went against 25 out of 32, and the defenses they went against 25 out of 32. So basically, their schedule was, by any calculation, bottom 4th in the league. And this year, it's a much harder schedule. There's a chance that they were just 11-5 because they were the best bad team. Mm-hmm. They might have been the good bad team last year.
They might have been, but they play the AFC South this year, so that's not awful.
Do you feel
bad teams in there?
We talked about my theory about cities with teams.
Yeah.
And how one team affects it. Do you feel anything about an Ohio thing? Do they get in at all? And the LeBron coming back? Because obviously the Browns aren't going to benefit, but maybe the state of Ohio benefits.
Right.
Manziel comes in. He has fun with the Browns. Cincy runs away with the division.
I'll tell you what, I think that is a major, major stretch, and you might be drunk on porch pies. Right?
Was that a porch pie in the sky?
You're all sugared
Proclamation
up. In the sky.
All right, so we agree on Cincy. I don't like when we agree because we're usually wrong and we lose money and we write a check every February. It's never good when we agree on stuff.
It's money orders this year, but yeah.
Last thing, over-unders. 9 for Cincy over.
So I said over slightly, and then the others I have all at 8. I don't know. I have Cleveland maybe 6 or 7, but you're gonna have to.
Cleveland 6.5. It feels like that might actually happen. They might go 6-9-1. What happens if they go 6-9-1?
That's an under.
Oh, it's an under?
Yeah.
Ravens feels 8-8, 9-9ish.
Yeah, you're gonna need the last week of the year.
Steelers feel 8-8. Our advice is to stay away, but I like Bengals plus 190 for the division. Bengals over 9. It's even odds. So basically, if they go 9-7, you push anyway. And then Bengals for the playoffs is plus 120.
Yeah, I would only do plus 190 for the division and plus 120 for the playoffs.
Right
There.
I would rather do the plus 190 for the division. Yeah. I don't think 2 playoff teams come out of this crappy division.
Right. Probably right.
The AFC North, we are all done.
We're done.
Headed to the AFC South coming up.
Let's go south.
Wow. I thought the AFC North odds were bad to win the Super Bowl. The AFC South is plus 1,200 that any team will win the Super Bowl.
Should be more, unless they add teams. Unless
they have more teams.
Well, the 49ers jump ship to the AFC South, maybe there's a chance.
Is it fair to say this is the toughest division to figure out?
I have the Colts winning by default. I really do. I studied it so much. I think they're a 10-win team, despite 5 arrests in the offseason, including their CEO. I don't like it. I don't like it. They have Hakeem Nicks. Offensively, they should be good.
You're a Cowboys fan. Yeah. You hate the Giants.
Oh,
you genuinely hate the Giants. You do.
Yeah.
So you root against them. You watch them. What happened to Hakeem Nicks?
I don't know.
That guy used to be good. How do you just stop being good at something? You're in your mid-20s.
He's a monster target, too. Right?
Yeah. What happened to that guy?
I don't know.
He went to the Colts, and I was like, oh, God, that's going to be scary. And then I'm thinking, he hasn't been good in, I can't remember the last time he was good.
Yeah. He could be their third best receiver behind Hilton and Reggie Wayne. But
a lot of red flags with this Colts team.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know we had Andrew Luck Week on Grantland, written by Bill Barnwell. Wrote 3 Andrew Luck pieces.
And they were right. I mean, he runs around. He's gotten very lucky. He's the opposite of Romo or anyone you think. Plays out of his mind, looking for targets all for 3.5 quarters, then just pulls it out.
I believe in clutch more than others. Right. And I know there's a whole statistical army trying to prove that clutch is luck and all that stuff.
They say clutch is luck. You say luck is clutch.
I say luck is clutch, and luck is not about luck. All I can tell you is this. I was in Mammoth with the Simmons family. They were skiing. I was watching the Chiefs-Colts game. And I was debating whether to ditch the game and go find them. And the Chiefs went up 38-10. I felt like Andrew Luck was going to make a run.
No, come on.
I really did. I kept watching, and I was like, I'm not walking away from Andrew Luck yet. I don't care if they're down 28. I just I don't want he had it in my head. There was a chance.
That was more.
That's got to count for something.
It counts because you saw Andy Reid on the other sideline.
Well, I saw that too. That was and the Chiefs kept getting carried out. Exactly. That was us happening. But I really did feel like he could pull it off, and I think he's one of the rare guys that if you're betting against him or you're rooting against him in the last 5 minutes and he has the ball and you have the lead, you're petrified.
Yeah.
So that counts for something.
And that's our first use of porch pie profanity right there.
There's a porch profanity pie.
But I think, and they're minus 160 to win division. Like I said, I can't hang my hat on any of these other teams.
Well, there's a lot of cases against the Colts.
Yeah.
They weren't really good at anything last year. They weren't in the top 10 in passing, rushing, for offense, defense, DVOA in any part of their game. The schedule they went against of defenses last year, 27th out of 32.
Right.
You could just argue they were luckier than lucky to be in that division. Houston's going to be better.
Right.
No question. I think Houston is the team everyone's pointing to for a massive jump. And actually,
they won 2 games, so it would have to be massive.
Well, they're over under 7.5.
Yeah.
Can you remember a 2-win team having a 7.5 over under next year?
No, that jump.
It's almost like they're building in the anti-regression. Tennessee, Wisenhunt. I thought he did a good job in Arizona. He had bad quarterbacks. You're not going to win if you have bad quarterbacks. And if anything, Wisenhunt, the quarterback decider, was the one who killed Wisenhunt, the coach, right?
But now he's got Jake Locker.
I like Jake Locker. I liked what I saw. He just got hurt.
You don't think they should have drafted someone? So deep, this draft in quarterbacks. They're just like, Jake Locker's our guy.
He's good.
Yeah.
He's probably one of the best 4 athletes at that position. Houston, there should be a little more urgency and fear for the fact that they went 2-14 last season. My question with them is, I like to play this game sometimes called Are We Sure He's Good? And it's just like people pencil in and oh, the new coach Bill O'Brien, he's great. Well, he was the quarterback coach for the Pats. You could be the quarterback coach for the Pats. Brady's a freaking genius. Anybody can be the quarterback coach for the Pats. Then he goes to Penn State. Did he was he amazing at Penn State? No. Are we sure he's a good coach?
No, we're definitely not sure. And they needed.
Couldn't he be a disaster?
Sure. And they needed a change. But talk about the good signs. They have the easiest schedule. They have one of the best drafts with Clowney and the guard from UCLA.
Yeah.
Like Tom Savage, he could be their backup.
Little Andre Johnson comeback year.
Andre Johnson, the D tackle from Notre Dame they picked.
Foster comeback year.
Their free agents were good. Their schedule is, they don't play Jacksonville until week 14, but it's the easiest schedule in the league. So why don't I like them to win 9-10 games to win this division?
You didn't even mention DeAndre Hopkins, who's a major he's fantasy breakout guy. I had him on my team last year down the stretch. He had a couple of big games.
Yeah,
he's scary too. He's big. He's got size. He can run.
And they got rid of the guy who set the pick 6 record in all of football. So that's going to help.
It did feel like Matt Schaub single-handedly murdered him.
Yeah, you don't want to say that about a quarterback, but he did.
So they're plus 280 to win the division, over under 7.5, plus 235 to win the playoffs. And I think the best case for them would be, A, Bill O'Brien's a good coach. Mm-hmm. I always have that thing called warm, which is wins above Raheem Morris, where you replace a coach who was bad with a good coach. Right. I don't think Bill O'Brien's a warm candidate, but who knows? Fitzpatrick, he's been on a lot of teams.
Yeah.
He's usually good for 3 weeks and then not good. Like when Heather Graham's on a TV show, it's like, oh, Heather Graham's on that show. Mm-hmm. And then it's like, oh, yeah, she's always on terrible shows.
Right, exactly.
But if Clowney is a monster, and you have Clowney and Watt, and you have all these teams saying, oh, we're playing those guys.
Yeah.
That's something.
Yeah, Jake Locker doesn't want to play him.
No.
Bortles doesn't want to play those
You don't want
guys,
to play the Clowney-Watt team.
No. They're in good shape. Their extra games are at Oakland and Buffalo. So
all right,
they could be okay. But I have them for 7 wins.
Everybody kind of likes this Jacksonville team.
Let's
what if
remember.
Bortles is good? Bortles looked really good in the preseason. I was predisposed to thinking he was going to be a bust because it's really one of the worst names I've ever heard for a quarterback. I feel like quarterbacks should have cool names.
It's bad.
It's a really bad one, but somebody pointed out.
Wine coolers or something.
Right, but somebody pointed out, like Ben Roethlisberger was a horrible name, and he won 2 Super Bowls.
Yeah. What excites you on the offense there?
Is Justin Blackmon out of jail?
If he did, he broke out, I think. No, he's suspended. Marquise Lee, the wide receiver for USC, that was big. Toby Gerhardt, do you trust the guy? Like, there's a few running backs this year that haven't had over 160 carries, which is like 10 a game, and he's one of them. So I have them at 4 or 5 wins. But
I have a vague memory of them being kind of frisky down the stretch last year.
Yeah, they hadn't won their first 9 or 10, right? And they ended up with 4 wins. So, but the
thing is, they're not starting my dude Blake. I'm not calling him Bortles anymore. No? It's just Blake.
Well, they should start him in Week 7 because here's their first 6: at Philly, at Washington, Indy, at San Diego, home against Pittsburgh, and at Tennessee. That's 4 road.
That's awful.
That's bad.
Yeah, they're out. All right, I'm crossing them off. God, that plus 2,000 to win the division is tasty. What if 9-7 wins the division?
Good.
What if they're 3-3 after the first 6?
Yeah.
Plus 1150 to make the playoffs.
I like Tennessee second in this division.
I like the over-under for them at least. 4.5. They're going over 4.5.
You do?
Yeah. Minus 235. A lot of action on that.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with the Colts. I don't feel good about it. I'll probably change my mind in the next 2 weeks, but
right.
It's Andrew Luck.
It's a safe pick. Minus 160.
Yeah, Andrew Luck wins games.
Yeah. What does Andrew the Giant Luck have to say about Bill Simmons' endorsement of him?
People seem to think that clutch is luck. It's not luck. Clutch is an innate skill. I feel very confident in the last 5 minutes, and I'm glad you're supporting me.
I like that people get to see
I have the beard now, too.
Yeah, it kind of looks like you're swallowing your beard as you go through the words.
Yeah, I don't feel good about this pick. I almost feel like I should just go against myself here.
Well,
I wish Houston had hired a coach that I was more excited about. I haven't read one story this summer, and I did a little Google sweep on it, like thinking like, you read the round of stories like, oh, it's a different atmosphere here under Bill, and then wasn't really there.
Yeah.
It was kind of like, he's good.
So you have 2 first-year coaches in this division, and a second-year coach in Gus Bradley, and then Chuck Strong.
We think 1 playoff team from this division.
Definitely. I wish you could bet that. Like, what would that be? Minus 600 that only 1 team makes the playoffs in this division?
We should have had some super nerd who knows all the stats who could have just spat out stuff.
I know. Next year.
So I'm going to begrudgingly say Indy minus 160 to win the division.
That's what I say. I don't like them for the Super Bowl.
9.5 over seems perfect.
They could win at 9-7.
9-7 seems right.
6, so that's
playoffs minus 195.
Like you said, division pick is better because there's not 2 playoff teams in this.
Houston 7.5 over under.
I have them at 6 wins or 7 went right in there. I don't like
Tennessee 7-9 feels like the right number.
Yeah.
And I love the Jacksonville over. Yeah, I do. I think they go 5-11.
All right.
I like Gus Bradley.
You do?
Yeah.
He's good. Yeah, I think they'd have to go like 5-2 the last 7 with how their schedule is.
I just want to remind you haven't used your porch pie in the sky pick.
I haven't?
Porch pie in the sky
All right,
pick.
it's coming.
So you're saving it for the AFC West?
AFC West.
AFC West coming up next.
Here we go.
Vegas kind of likes the AFC West.
Yeah.
They're saying plus 350 that an AFC West team wins the Super Bowl. And in my opinion, that's Denver or San Diego. I really like the Chargers this year. We're going to get to them. Denver, minus 310 to win the division, 6-1 to win the Super Bowl, a gaudy 11.5 over-under, and minus 500 to make the playoffs, plus 375 if you go against them.
Right.
Peyton Manning's old.
He is old.
Might not be a bad flyer.
I like it under, and then I don't know why I like it under. Why should they? They learn from their mistakes. The teams don't do that a lot. They saw their Super Bowl, they watch film, and they brought in DeMarcus Ware. They have Aqib Talib. They have T.J. Ward from the Browns. They did a nice job.
Well, you watched DeMarcus Ware last year. Is he still an impact guy?
I think they were smart to let him go, the Cowboys. He gets double-teamed way too much. He's on the downside of his career, and he doesn't get hurt a lot, which is good, but he'll do well on that team, like most Cowboys who go off do. They did a lot with their secondary. They're in good shape there. But I don't like them for 11.5 wins. I like them for only 10.
Too high. What kind of PEDs is Von Miller going to be on this year?
Ooh, I don't know.
Maybe we should do the Porch Pie PED watch later. Now, Von, I'm sure he's totally clean this year.
Yeah.
So Denver is by far the favorite. San Diego, plus 600 for the division. 42-1 to win the Super Bowl. An astonishing 8.5 over/under.
Right.
And plus 220 to make the playoffs. I really like the 8.5 over. I really like the playoffs plus 220. I like this Chargers team. I think they're going to be really good.
Well,
this is my playoff team.
This is bad now because I have them making the Super Bowl. I have the Chargers winning the division, making the Super Bowl. And I like Brandon Flowers, and I like that Melvin Ingram's back, and there was nothing not to like about their offense last year.
Well, last year they had the second best offense in the league by DVOA. Yeah. They were the 32nd defense in the league.
Yeah, but you have Peyton Manning. That's 2 games against him. I know you play the Raiders too, but
they spent a lot of time addressing the defense. Mm-hmm. They made their secondary better.
Definitely.
It's not the 85 Bears, but it's not a catastrophe.
I like this Mike McCoy, John Pagano.
I really like Mike McCoy.
Really good.
Really like Mike McCoy. They didn't really lose any of the coaching guys that helped them. Mm-hmm. Keenan Allen.
Yeah.
Who's the tight end?
Ladarius Green. It always used to be. This team's offense was always Antonio Gates, and they don't need him at all this year. I think they're good. Woodhead.
How's the schedule?
Arizona, Buffalo, Jacksonville, Jets, and Oakland.
So that could be your juggernaut.
Yeah.
I see. You're scared that we agree. I like that we agree. I have New England and San Diego in the AFC title game right now. That might change by the time I do my column, but those are the 2 I'm looking at.
Broncos, conversely, Broncos these are their road games. At New England, at Seattle, at KC, at San Diego, at Cincy. It's time, Bill.
Well, let me ask you this.
Yeah.
And you could say the same for Brady. Mm-hmm. Although Manning's older than Brady and had 4 knee surgeries. At what point... One of these years, it's just going to be over. Like, you saw it with Kobe Bryant and the Lakers. Mm-hmm. It's like you can't just keep penciling in the same season for somebody once they're in their late 30s, early 40s.
Yeah, and one thing is for sure, it is not at the point where Bill and Sal have the Chargers to win the division. It's not going to be at that point, but it will be soon. No, I think this is a year.
Well, nobody's going to hear this podcast yet, and we're going to go to Vegas after we finish taping it, and we're going to go bet on the Chargers.
I hope no one's listening.
It's going to be so much fun. All right, Chiefs. Everyone's on it for the regression. What's funny now about following the NFL is people smell out the regression like a sewage smell.
Yeah.
And it almost makes you think like, well, I wonder if the guys even pay attention to it on the team, but if they did, to just know over and over again that everybody thinks you're going to suck, I wonder if that's actually good.
Yeah.
Be like, oh, we're going to suck? Watch this.
It's just depending too much on one guy, Jamal Charles. He has to do everything with this team. They didn't go and get a wide receiver in the draft or in free agency, and now Dwayne Bowe's in trouble, and they lost Dexter McCluster.
Isn't Dwayne Bowe always in trouble?
Yeah, he is. Yeah,
they whiffed on that first round wide receiver, and that whole debacle happened. And
they're the team like in their stretch when they won 9 of their first 10, whatever. You're like, oh come on, what's going on here? The greatest game manager of all time, Alex Smith. I don't buy it.
They had great special teams, and they had a phenomenally easy schedule.
I think this is an easy
last year. I mean,
over-under pick. Over-under 8.5 wins. Now, you have to lay a lot of wood, minus 185 on the under, but I see 6 or 7 wins here.
I was thinking the playoffs minus 350 for no.
No, I have that circled as well.
Was to parlay that with something that we could lose on that one, maybe.
That's really good.
I think a lot of what happened to them early part of last year, the schedule, you had Andy Reid, like, it's so great to see him. But Andy Reid wasn't good on the Eagles the last couple of years before he went to the Chiefs. You know, on top of everything else, we need to mention this. Devastating playoff loss.
Sure.
Devastating. Yeah. One of the worst playoff losses ever.
Yeah, it really
It's never a good sign when you're in the season following one of the worst playoff losses in recent history. And that's what they had, and I think that lingers over this whole season for them.
That was in Indy. You want to hear their first
They lost
six?
some good guys, too. I mean, I know Flowers didn't play that well for them last year, but they lost him. They lost
Brandon Albert. Yeah.
Who else did they lose?
McCluster, I said. Dunter Robinson's gone. Their first six, Tennessee, whatever, at Denver, at Miami, New England, San Fran, at San Diego.
Oof.
3-3 would be like, you look at that, you're like, we got to go 3-3 there. And that's, I don't see it.
Denver minus 310 for the division versus San Diego plus 600. To me, that is no contest. I feel like that's 600. A toss-up between those two teams.
I did too. Plus 600, take it. Over San Diego, take it.
Let's talk about the Raiders quickly.
All right.
They were 4-12 last year. I think they were 4-12 the year before, too.
Mm-hmm.
Their big free agent move was to bring in Matt Schaub, who was a carcass by midseason in Houston, and is somebody that at no point did I ever think he was going to have another relevant NFL moment.
Right.
It seemed like his career was over, and the only people scouting him should have been television networks.
I agree.
Not football teams.
If you're going to break your own record for pick sixes, you go to Oakland. That's a good place to go, right? Like, treat their fans to it. And
I'm sure the fans will treat him really wonderfully if it starts to go wrong.
He's done. He's going to have a spike bracelet through his scalp. But I don't like to pick on them because I picked on them last year, and they signed Justin Tuck and Lamar Woodley and some like leadership type guys. But pass defense was the worst in the league last year.
Here's the other red flag. The Football Outsiders, they do weighted DVOA that pays more attention to as the season goes on and how you finished and stuff like that. They were last in the league. Like, they quit on that coach last year.
Yeah.
And they brought him back.
Mm-hmm. And third year for Dennis Allen. This could be.
Usually, like, if you're a bad team and you come on the next season, it's because you laid some seeds the year before in November and December. The Raiders did the opposite. They laid some stuff, but it wasn't seeds.
Right, it wasn't seeds.
It was poop.
Wow.
It was human feces.
Say
is what
it to
they
Dennis
laid.
Allen's face.
I will. If he's right here, I'd say it to him right now. So we love San Diego.
I love it.
Want to shake on it?
Is it bad that we both love it?
Why? We've won before.
I mean, we've
had a lot of gambling success. I resent that.
We used to have San Diego to win the division when Peyton wasn't with Denver, and they would lose like their first four. It would always be a struggle.
Well, that's because we were betting on North Turner. We learned our lesson.
You're right. Mike McCoy.
Mike McCoy's good. All right,
I like
it. All right,
Chargers over and wins, Super Bowl, everything.
Well, I don't know about the Super Bowl, but I'm doing AFC title.
What's their AFC? 22 to win the AFC? 22-1 or something?
Well, yeah, it's usually half of the Super Bowl, so 42-1. Why don't we bet on them to win the Super Bowl for the hell of it?
Okay, well, let's not tell anybody.
Has Phil Rivers had any more kids?
Does he have
like 6 kids now?
Does he? I don't know.
They're all by the same woman.
Really?
Yeah.
All right, good.
It's like a reverse Cromartie. All right, that's it for the AFC West. We're going to turn our attention to Sal's beloved National Football Conference.
The only conference that matters.
Stay tuned.
Target % off. Whoa.
Thank you for downloading the B.S. Report with Bill Simmons.
Too much fun.
Check out more podcasts at the iTunes Music Store or at Pod Center at ESPNRadio.com.
Peace out.
Geico presents Strange Savings Stories. Astronomers detected an interstellar transmission. It stated, Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% or more. The implications were staggering. Was the cosmos telling us we could all save hundreds on car insurance with Geico? Or did their radar merely pick up a signal from the nearby Rufus and Clyde's morning show? We may never know.
Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.